If Bryan moves, what happens to the podcast?
Well, we've always figured it out.
We'll figure it out. Yeah. He has to do what's best for him, though. That's what's best for Bryan.
Yeah.
Might be what's best for finding the kid.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe.
All right, so it looks like time has officially run out for the thick boy himself, Brendan Schaub. Because if you didn't know already, Joe Rogan recently made it his sole mission in life to revive Bryan Callen's stand-up comedy career. Like, for whatever reason, Joe woke up one day and decided that he wants his best friend back. And not only that, he also wants him to become rich and successful. So next thing you know, Bryan's moving out to Austin, shooting his new comedy special at the Mothership, and doing a solo pod on JRE just to top it all off. Like Rogan really wants to see his old BFF succeed.
2.3 seconds, 0 to 60.
Jesus.
What? Go. 9-second quarter mile right from the factory, motherfucker.
A 9
That's what you need. That's what you need, Callen.
You do. It's very
when
important.
Your special kicks it and you start selling out giant theaters.
Dude, let's go, baby.
Let's get a little in your life.
That's
you're
what I'll buy
running away
myself.
from looters.
Once I start selling theater tickets.
Yeah, once you get the fuck out of Los Angeles.
I know.
And you might be thinking to yourself, man, Schaub must be fuming right now. I mean, Joe Rogan's essentially leaving him in the dust of the LA fires while hoisting his co-host into the limelight. But surprisingly, Brendan seems to be completely unbothered by this. And on the surface, he actually seems happy for Bryan.
Put a little power out
What
there.
did I text you?
Yeah.
What did I text you?
You did. You said you got to get there.
You let these motherfuckers know, dude.
Yeah.
Y'all must have forgot.
Yeah.
It pisses me off.
Yeah. No, you did. You said, show these fuckers who you are.
Yeah, dude.
Remind them. You know, Mark Norman.
And I told you, you fucking remind them.
Yeah,
dude.
it was
and,
good.
And look, we'll figure it out. But for what you're doing, you have to be there, bud. You have to be there, bud.
I think I do.
At least, I don't know if it's moving there full. I don't know, but you have to be in that zeitgeist. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm different.
Can we get you there?
I don't know. You and I can figure it out.
Yeah.
But you need to be there.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, Brendan Schaub is still Brendan Schaub. Deep down, he's actually very salty about all this. And if this were 2 years ago, we'd probably get a pretty good reaction out of him. Because at that point, he was still clinging on to his hopes and dreams of one day becoming a successful stand-up comedian. But now, in 2025, Brendan's pretty much accepted his position in life. I mean, just look at the defeated expression on his face as Bryan details the very famous guests who attended his live comedy special.
But you were in Austin at the Mothership, shooting your special.
Yes.
A lot of people came out.
A lot of people came out.
Theo came. Our
Theo
boy Theo
Vaughn came.
Mark Norman
warmed the stage up.
Theo,
Mark Norman warmed the. Yeah, Theo jumped on.
I mean, basically every character in the Rogan sphere came to attend Bryan's special. Everyone except Schaub, who was probably too busy grifting as a used car salesman.
You saw all our buddies?
I saw everybody.
Everyone came.
Everybody came to the show. So flattering. Michael Malice and Lex Friedman and Nicky Rod and
Catherwood.
Gordon Ryan.
Mike Catherwood.
Mike Catherwood, of course.
Gordon Ryan, Nicky Rod, those are our boys.
Yeah,
Catherwood's
our boy.
Throwback boy
Hell
of ours.
yeah.
Love him.
You
Texas
know who
came
did
out.
come? Drew Bledsoe.
No, he didn't.
Bledsoe came?
Drew
Are you
Bledsoe.
serious?
Yes, he did.
I love
And I
Drew
had a
Bledsoe.
great talk with him. And he's like my age, so he was loving it.
Yeah.
And our boys from Drinking Bros, Dan Holloway.
Love them.
Dan Crenshaw came. Fucking Tim Kennedy came.
Timmy came.
Evan Hafer from Black
Black
Rifle.
Rifle.
It was literally everybody.
Our crew came out,
It was so
man.
cool, man. And then, it was Ross Patterson from Drinking Bros.
No, I love them.
Those guys
FOMO,
are great.
man.
But they brought fucking Drew Bledsoe.
Love it.
So
I'm like, that's Drew Bledsoe. Because,
So with Bryan moving to Austin, we're only left to wonder what's going to happen to the Fighter and the Kid podcast. Well, according to Brendan, it might just have to come to an end, which he seems to have come to terms with.
I didn't realize, like I have to say too, when I was there, the younger comics, I didn't realize that
You're the Godfather.
yeah, I didn't know that. I don't realize
No, but
that.
you're my Godfather. You're the one that got me into it.
Yeah. It's pretty
Yeah,
wild.
bud.
Yeah.
But everyone feels that way about you. But you're out here doing your own thing.
I gotta get.
You're one of the guys. You got to be one of the guys.
Yeah.
Not playing grab ass with me out here.
Yeah, I gotta go do my thing. Yeah.
Whatever we got to do to figure that out.
We'll
you
figure it
got
out.
to be there, dude.
We'll figure it out.
If Bryan moves, what happens to the podcast?
Well, we've always figured it
I
out.
know, we'll figure it out. He has to do what's best for him, though. That's what's best for Bryan.
Yeah.
Might be what's best for finding the kid.
Yeah.
You know.
Maybe. You never know. Maybe we.
But I know what
You're flirting with the idea, a little bit.
I'm trying to control my rage from our government, and yes,
And a lot of people speculate that he'll just end up moving to Austin with Bryan to continue to do the podcast, but I personally don't think this would happen. I just think Brendan's ego is way too big to be living in Austin without an official invite from Joe Rogan. Like, to be in the very city where all his friends from the Comedy Store are thriving would have him absolutely losing his mind. I mean, if he were so happy for Callen, he probably would have attended the comedy special. Like, he was definitely invited to go and just declined the invitation. And I only say this because his very own producer, Chin, went to the show by himself. So there's no way that they would have just forgot about Brendan. And when Chin brings this up on Schaub's solo pod that he did last week, we get to see just how excited Brendan is at the idea of moving to Austin.
So I went to Bryan's shows in Austin, right?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So, dude, everyone that asked me questions about stuff, they're like, when are you guys going to move to Austin with all the stuff going on in California?
Yep.
Like, they're saying, like, that's like one of the number one questions when people would meet me at the shows.
When we leaving?
What? Yeah. Or going to Texas, they said. Texas, but Austin, I'm sure. They want you guys to go to Austin. But that's like one of the main questions they were asking. Yeah. And Texas is bomb, dude. Obviously.
Yeah, I don't know if Austin's the move. It's fucking woke as shit there.
Texas.
We can all pretend it's not. It's more woke than here. Austin. But Texas, like, I like Fort Worth. Like, if I'm going to Texas, I want proper fucking Texas.
Yeah.
You know?
So yeah, he's not too amped up about the whole Austin thing. And in fact, I think this was the final straw that broke the camel's back. Like, he just seems completely defeated now. And it's about time. I mean, it's almost been 3 years since he released his disaster of a comedy special, The Gringo Poppy, which escalated the infamous feud he had with Bobby Lee and forced Theo Von to depart from the podcast he hosted with Brendan. So since then, Brendan's stock has absolutely bottomed out. I mean, it's not even funny to call him a bad comedian anymore. Like, he's so unattached from being a legit comic that comedians such as Ari Shaffir consider it hacky to even make a joke about him. Like when Matan tried to get Ari to poke fun at Brendan on their latest podcast that they did together, Ari just seemed tired of the whole shtick and clearly wanted to move on to the next question.
With those guys.
So,
but I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna
okay.
name 5 comedians in your circle, okay?
Okay.
Like all of the people.
I'm interested to see what my circle is.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have to tell me who's the odd one out and why, okay?
Okay. And why? Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna name the 5 comedians in your circle, and you
Hold on, before you even do this.
Who's the odd one out?
Sometimes I have trouble with memory. Can I write these down as you go so I can glance at it?
I think you'll figure it out quick.
Okay.
Ari Shaffir.
Yeah.
Joey Diaz.
Yeah.
Mark Normand.
Yeah.
Shane Gillis.
Yeah.
Brendan Schwab.
Brendan Schwab.
Who's doesn't fit in there and why? Are you allowed to say the reason we're both thinking right now or no?
Am I what?
Allowed to say it?
I'm allowed to say whatever I want. I'm a free American.
Okay,
with a comedy background.
who is it and why? Because I know, like, every time I'm out, you're like stumbling. Who is it? You know who it is. Come on.
Well, here's what I generally do. I don't take like hacky answers for things that have been done like 20,000 times. So I try to think like a unique angle on everything.
No, who is it?
I try to think of a unique angle.
It's hockey, but nobody asks it to them in the face.
Everybody asks it all the time.
They ask you about it?
Done like 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we both are thinking the same thing, though.
Yeah, I'm the bald one.
No.
And I'm going bolder, and I don't like it.
Okay,
I'm talking to a guy in Turkey.
I'll give you a hint.
Seeing if I can get it through.
I'll give you a hint. It's not Ari Shaffir, Joey Diaz, Mark Normand, or Shane Gillis.
Okay, then it's the other one, I guess.
Who is the other one?
I don't know.
Are you even allowed to say his name?
Why is the other man out? Why do you think he's the other man out?
You tell me, man. I don't want to get sued.
I think it's truly a sign that Brendan's fell off when people consider it old and hacky to even hate on him. Like they're simply tired of hearing the guy's name. I mean, this might just be my last video on Schaub, and I don't even matter, B. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the video. Thanks for watching if you made it this far, and do let me know in the comments what you think Brendan Schaub's next move will be.